I called my talk from Mottes to Manors, and there's no doubt that the earth and timber castles, as archaeologists now call them, were a key part of the process of settlement. I should also confess at this point, you'll notice I've been using lots and lots of images from the Bay Tapestry, which is something that an awful lot of historians and archaeologists dealing with Northern Ireland tend to do. Despite the fact that the tapestry is a good 100 years or more sort of older than the actual invasion. Nonetheless, there's a real danger, I think, in assuming that the monuments, and particularly the mottes that the Normans built in Ireland, actually followed exactly this pattern, though there are strong similarities. There are also differences. One of the most characteristic one is that we all learned in school about the Mott and Bailey Castle. And in actual fact, about 45% of Irish earthwork motts have an associated Bailey. Conversely, that means that over half of Irish earthwork motts don't have an associated Bailey, in as much as we can tell. They're just motts. So there are strong differences between the kinds of, in detail, between the kinds of earthwork castles that the Normans build in Ireland and the kinds that they build as part of the settlement of England. The other thing which we need to be aware of is that in the past, I think we tended to think of these motts as very, very military. There's an assumption that the Normans move into a given area, and the very first thing they do is to build these castles as part of a military strategy. We're increasingly aware that seeing motts or seeing ringworks, their close cousins, as entirely military structures is to miss some key points of the process. These castles were the centres of lordship. And it would seem, I think most archaeologists would agree today, that if there is a conflict between building a castle at a location which is suitable for the control or dominance of a given manor or a given area of control, and building a castle at a major strategic location, the tendency is the needs of the lordship, the needs of lordship, tend to be paramount. One aspect of that, for example, is the tendency to find motts constructed at pre-existing power sites. So places like St. Mullins in Carlow, for example, a well-established power centre and an ecclesiastical site, which typically gets a mott built right beside it. Rather than very often the initial stages of Norman settlement will actually involve building a mott at a pre-established location, very often an ecclesiastical site. You get stone castles, of course, as well, such as the Ferns being a case in point, representing sort of major locations and major power centres where those building these structures have the resources to actually build.